So, hello everyone, Kieran here from WireMunch Media, and in this video we have a very special guest, Jon Rettinger of TechnoBuffalo.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, it's a pleasure. So, straight in with the questions. Number one, who or what inspired your interest in technology?
I've always been interested in technology, ever since I was little. I've always been fascinated by what makes things work. I used to take things apart as a kid just to sort of figure out how they worked. I used to go and walk around, Best Buy or the big box electronics store just to relax and have fun. It's always been, I never even thought about it. It was just what I liked to do and what I loved.
Perfect. Number two, why do you think TechnoBuffalo has become so successful, i.e. promotion, dedication, design?
I think that we've had, success depends on a lot of things. But I think that we've had growth because of an incredible audience. And an audience that is unlike any other. We make content, but it's up to the folks of the world to watch it or read it. So any amount of success we had, no matter how you want to quantify it, has to go to the audience.
Yeah, I've noticed that your fans are absolutely fantastic. They really show you a lot of support. So.
The word fan sort of makes me sometimes uncomfortable, but they are some of the best readers and viewers, and they keep me honest.
Yeah.
And they call me on it when I make mistakes and I appreciate it. And it's like we've always had a very good relationship. That's one of the things that I love the most.
Yeah. And after all, feedback is key. I mean, you can't progress without feedback, really. That's
totally
one
agree.
thing I've learned. Number three, have you ever found it hard to cope with such a large fan base?
Hard to cope with?
Yeah.
No, I mean it's been wonderful. I'm not sure what you mean by that question, but no, I mean it's the more people that watch and read the stuff, the better, and the better we can become.
Fair enough. Very good. So, what is your current daily driver and why?
This guy right here, HTC1.
HTC1.
I'm just sitting next to me, sitting right here on my desk. That is my current daily driver. I love the phone. I love the build quality. I love the Android implementation of it. I really like Sense. I love the screen. Everything about the phone I really like. We're due to get our BlackBerry Q10 in sometime in the next few days, so I'll switch to that for daily driver for a while. But I feel like I'll probably come back to the HTC One soon enough. Like I used to always come back to the iPhone, but now I feel like the One is my sweet baby phone.
I noticed you had a bit of a fling with BlackBerry a couple of years ago with the 9900. Yeah.
Yeah, when I wanted to simplify my life a bit.
Yeah.
I switched back, but I'm excited to try the Q10. I really liked it, the Z10. I think they improved on some of the issues that I had with it, when it launched a few months ago.
Nice. Well, I've got the Samsung Galaxy S4 here, so...
That is also a great phone. You can't go wrong with that one either.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
Oh, it's really good. The speed, oh my god, that's so fast.
It is extremely fast.
And
extremely fast.
Yeah, and the screen is just stunning. I've never seen a screen so good.
S4 is a wonderful phone. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. Number 5. How often do you have a meeting with all of the herd? And if not too personal, what do you discuss?
We have a week staff call every Monday morning at 9:30 Pacific time. And I let all department heads talk. I usually talk first. I'll give updates. I'll give our traffic stats from the week, what our top 5 posts were from the week. I'll call out some folks in the staff that did something particularly awesome the past week. We'll
give them credit.
Updates. We'll plan for what events might be coming. We'll brainstorm some content. Call usually lasts about a half hour. And then every Friday, I've got a call with the department heads, and we'll sort of strategize what we want to do and what's coming up content-wise.
Awesome. Number 6. This is a bit of a tough one, but I'll go ahead with it anyway. Where do you see the iOS versus Android war in 10 years' time?
Hopefully still raging on.
Yeah.
I think having iOS and Android duke it out makes both operating systems better.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's really what matters. People get very caught up in, I like one, so you can't like another, which I think gets to be a bit silly. But from a business standpoint, as long as those companies are competing, they're going to be pushing each other forward to innovate. And I think that's the best thing that we can hope for. I think, though, there's still going to be 2 major players for a very long time. I don't see a third really achieving dominance anytime soon. Like BlackBerry 10 or a Windows phone or something new that might come out, it's going to be really hard to get that market share away from iOS and Android.
Yeah, well, I just come from an iPhone 4, that was the predecessor to my new S4, and iOS is still a very nice operating system. It's becoming increasingly stale, but I still really like it. I just really wanted to switch, just to try other things,
I think a lot of people are in the same boat. iOS is still an excellent operating system. It's full functioning, it works really well. It just hasn't changed that much. And for people that are just coming to it, never used it before, then it's great. But for folks who've been using it, for a while, sometimes you want to try something new. You want to see if the grass really is greener.
Yeah, and you don't know till you find out, really. Number 7, sorry. How do you decide that someone is right for the job at TechnoBuffalo?
That's a tough one. We really do a lot of vetting and a lot of back and forth and a lot of questions for writers. We have a pretty strict process, make them write content. We'll review it, we'll make them write another one, we'll do timed content, make sure they can turn out a piece quickly and can at least self-edit pretty well. And a lot of it comes down to personality fit. We're a very big group, we have very low turnover. So we want to make sure that everybody that we are hiring or thinking about hiring is gonna fit, especially the folks that are gonna work in the office here. We want to make sure we've got really solid people.
Number 8. Does working in an office around everyone help with your workflow? Do you get distracted, or do you find it easier than working from home?
So much easier than working from home. Working from home was hard because I couldn't turn off work. I felt like I was always working, when it was 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I was sitting there with my wife, or in the morning. Whatever it was, I couldn't turn it off. I'm in the office. I pretty much work nonstop, but I can leave. I can say, okay, for the next few hours, I'm just gonna be a husband, or I'm just gonna hang out with some buddies, whatever it is, and I can turn it off. So it's really been helpful.
So just you like some chill out time then as well.
I think I'm more productive in the office. We can brainstorm, we can talk. I can have somebody else film me, which is really helpful.
Yeah. Perfect. Number 9. When you first launched TechnoBuffalo, did you see yourself as successful as you were now? Did you have the feeling that TechnoBuffalo was going to be one of the biggest websites for consumer electronic journalism?
Thank you for that. I don't consider us big now yet at all. But when TechnoBuffalo first launched, no, I did not. I don't know if you've been following us since we launched, but we were supposed to launch in September of 2009. And the site was up for about 30 seconds.
It crashed, yeah.
It wasn't because it crashed because a lot of traffic. It crashed because the coding was bad, and I didn't know enough at the time how to run a website. We had to go down for a few months. So no, there were times when I was really worried that we were never going to get off the ground or get any traction. I'm the kind of person that's very rarely satisfied with what I've accomplished professionally at any moment. I think you can always do more. Yeah, we've had great growth. We've grown tremendous. Our name has gotten bigger, but it could be bigger. So we've grown 3 times since where we were last year, but why wasn't it 4 times? So until we are the biggest, and I can quantify we are the biggest, I'm never going to consider us or me successful, in all honesty. I know sometimes that attitude rubs people the wrong way, but if you're not striving for something, you're always working to better yourself or better your company or your job or your business, I think that's when people start getting lazy, and I really want to try and avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, that is really quite inspirational words.
And to everybody out there that's considering getting in this field, it's filled like acting or trying to do musical theater. It's filled with a lot of rejection, and that happens to me all the time. But what determines success isn't necessarily page views or video views. It's determination. It's a good thing for life. If you get up from getting knocked down, if you can deal with the negative comments, if you can deal with PR people telling you no, we're not sending your product, or you're not big enough, or not emailing you back at all, if you can get past that, you're already a success. And you're already yourself and the rest of the people out there. And it's really people to get past the negativity online. And if you can do that, and I still struggle with it, if you can do that, regardless of page views or video views, you're going to be successful.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what field you're in, I think you're going to come across some negative feedback now and then, but
especially the internet.
Yeah, especially the internet. But you just need to block the bad out, Just focus on the good. That's my opinion. And number 10, last but not least, what advice would you give to people who are looking to get into the consumer electronic journalism business? What sort of information would you consider?
Sure. So, sort of what I just said, don't be discouraged. Never be discouraged. And try and find your own voice. Don't try and emulate or copy anybody else's style. Find what works for you. Don't be afraid to show some personality in your videos. There are thousands of people out there now that are going to unbox the same phones. They're going to talk about the same devices. Find a way for someone to make your content unique. I like to dispel the misconception that you have to be rich to be a tech reviewer. You don't have to buy all the products to talk about. You can talk about your opinions on them without ever. You can go to Apple stores and play the computers there. You can go to whatever your big box retailers and try this stuff and just say, listen, I don't own it, but I want to share my opinions with it. I played it for a little while. What do you think? Is a great way to get started. And be patient. Be very patient.
Yeah.
Everybody expects to create a YouTube channel or create a blog and
have success overnight. Yeah.
The next day.
Yeah.
And don't ask. The biggest advice I can give too is don't ask people, hey, can you retweet my site? Can you can you do this? Can you do that? We get asked that so often that it's so hard to say yes to one person, no to another, and it sullies your reputation moving forward. So try and avoid that if you can. Would be my advice. Really. Hopefully that helps the folks watching this.
I totally agree with what you just said. I mean, if you actually did retweet someone, the rest of your readers would complain saying, "Oh, why couldn't my tweet be retweeted? That's not fair, etc." But I totally see where you're coming from.
So that's always been my advice, and
yeah,
it's a tough career path. I was lucky when I started. There weren't that many people out there. It's much harder now than it was 4 years ago. But there's still plenty of room. And don't be afraid to ask people for help or for advice. We're all part of the tech reviewing family. And I think when anybody achieves success, it just gives credibility to the whole industry.
Perfect. So, John, for your last words, where can our audience find you?
You can check me out at TechnoBuffalo.com.
Perfect. And on Twitter at Jon Rettinger. He is verified, so he is big. So, so thanks for your time, John. That really meant a lot to me. You've been very nice to talk to.
Thank you for having me, and I wish you and your site nothing but the best.
Thank you very much, John.